Hi, I'm Molly with the Restored Dogwood. Today I'm going to show you how I took a traditional sofa table and gave it a modern vibe without losing its classic roots. So stick around. Welcome back to our channel where we show you how to style your home in a sustainable and intentional way. The way that we do that is by using eco-friendly products to refinish furniture, and we want to show you guys how we're doing that and how easy it is to save green and be green at the same time. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you get notified of all of our videos, and definitely follow us on Instagram because that's where I post most of my updates on what we're working on in the shop. Here's the very traditional Thomasville console table that I picked up from a local Facebook group. I could tell that it had really good bones, but I didn't love the finish, so I decided to get used to my sander a little bit more and do a lot of experimenting and with the top and the legs, and I just wanted to see what the whole thing was made of. So I couldn't get the finish quite out of that little lip right under the top, so I thought, well, since I'm going to do a wash on the top, or I was going to at least try, I decided to paint a little bit of soiree along the edge over the finish to see if I could cover it up since I was going to wash anyway. Now I'm ready to start painting, but first I want to prime. I'm using the Country Chic Clear Bonding Primer. I'm not going to show my whole process here. If you want to see me priming another piece, I'll put the link in the description below to our Free to Farmhouse piece because I use the same kind of primer for that one. I decided to start saving a lot of our packaging, our plastic packaging that comes in the mail and envelopes and so forth. I wanted to figure out a way that I could use that plastic for something, and this was the perfect time. I cut up a lot of the pieces and made them flat and covered up my top with some painter's tape because I know I didn't want to get any of the black licorice paint that I was going to put on the console table legs and the body on the top. So I thought this was a really great, free, and eco-friendly way to reuse the plastic wrap that I know a lot of us have. I know what you're thinking. When do I get to the paint? Well, here we go. Finally, the fun part. Country Chic Licorice is what I'm using, and I'm going to use a little mister. I was experimenting with a new technique and my 2-inch brush from Country Chic. So I'm misting the piece first, and then I'm misting my brush, and then I'm going to apply the paint. I got a little bit too overzealous with the water, so I had to put a couple extra coats on the back because I watered it down a little bit too much. So I won't be putting so much mist next time. But overall, it was a really great technique and made my brush strokes pretty much disappear for a really smooth finish, and I'm really happy with that technique. I will definitely be doing that from now on. I gave the table 2 coats of the licorice paint, and it came out so smooth and so pretty. I was so happy with it. My eco-friendly and free painting, plastic cover, whatever, top worked really great. It covered up everything. So now it was time to do my wash on top. So for my wash, I'm using Soiree from Country Chic, watered down, just like I did with my Free to Farmhouse piece right behind me. So you can view more of that process in the video for that piece. The great thing about washes is that it's okay to be imperfect. I just put it on, and then I wipe it off, and I kept going. You might be wondering, are you going to do anything with that stripe down the middle? Nope, that's how the tabletop is, and the two-tone look is really popular now. Plus, I decided the person interested in this table was going to be able to appreciate interesting design elements like that, so I chose not to try and make anything matchy-matchy. After letting the first coat dry for a full 24 hours, I did put a very, very watered down application on top. Very smooth, one direction strokes, but I forgot to put my camera on for that, so I'll have to show you guys that in another video. Waiting for the top to dry, I decided to seal the body with Country Chic clear wax and their brush. I'm also using a couple different microfiber cloths. Wax is not that intimidating. You just take your brush, you swirl it around, get it on the bristles, and then you're ready to go. I'm actually trying a new technique with wax here that I hadn't used before. I have Jen at Perfectly Imperfect Furniture to thank for showing me this technique. So you just want to swirl on the wax. I knew how to do that part first, but you really want to saturate your furniture first and get it all on there and not keep going, not put like a little bit on there and then take it off. That's what I was doing before, and I was running into streaks and lots of problems. But you can see I'm completely covering it up, and then I'm going to take off the wax in a minute. Here I have one of my microfiber cloths, and I just sort of pull off the wax in strokes, like you can see. I don't go back and forth. I just do one smooth stroke and then I move on. Well, I'm going back and forth a little bit there, but I got better, especially on my bigger part of the back of the table. So now you get the idea. You swirl it on, you really saturate your piece, and then you go over with your cloth and you wipe it down. This is the same technique I used on the entire thing, and it worked so great. I let the wax chill, cure, whatever, overnight, and the next day I went back at it with another coat. And I did the same thing, saturated, and then I pulled the wax in one direction. I mean, not back and forth, I just pulled it, and it came out really, really smooth. It was really buttery, and it's just great, great wax. I completely fell in love with the waxing process. It really isn't that intimidating. Just saturate the piece, get your microfiber, move the wax, and you'll be good. So I'm using the Country Chic Tough Coat to protect the top because it's probably going to see more wear than the body. So you can see I poured it. This is, again, another new technique. I like to do 1,000 new things every time I'm working on something. So I decided to go with it in that direction, I guess vertically from where I'm standing. And I really got a lot of product on my sponge. and instead of, looks like I'm going back and forth a lot, but actually I'm really not. I'm just kind of popping some of the little bubbles very, very lightly. But more or less, I'm going in one direction and I'm putting a lot of product on and then going over to the other. I wasn't doing lots of back and forth. I was really saturating my table, and that's something new. I had not done that before. And again, just like with my wax, doing this new technique, everything came out so, so great. This is actually my second coat. The first one, I went horizontally, the long table, and since I kept going back and forth and trying to fix things, it ended up being streaky. So this is really my second coat, so I know it'll protect it really well. That's another thing to keep in mind, is if it's not perfect, you can go back and do it again. Make sure you wait plenty of time, a couple hours before you do your second coat. Here's a little tip. I just put some extra piece of plastic on top before I put my lid over my tough coat so that they don't stick to each other. So here you can see how wet my table looks. It's really key not to go back in there and try to fix it and move it around. Just walk away and you'll be glad you did. So here's a reminder of how our table used to look like. And look at it now. What a transformation. Still has those beautiful traditional lines, but we gave it a modern feel with the sleek black paint and the bronze champagne pulls. I love how the top came out, even more beautiful than I pictured in my head. The two-tone is fantastic and it's so smooth. I just love that washed look. If you like what we did, be sure to subscribe, share this with friends, like the video, and follow us on Instagram. It really does help us get our message of sustainable style out to more people. Thanks for watching. See you next time.